Everyone online says you need to scale with a course. And I say, sell the damn service. I'm Emily Williams, award-winning consultant and productized offer expert since 2014. And I'm here to help you work less, make more, and stop custom building your burnout. Each week, we talk strategy, structure, and the real stories behind sustainable service businesses. You know, from service providers who like doing service work, who want to stay in service work, but also just make more money. If you're ready for all that yapping, then let's dive in. What time is it for you? It's dark time. It's night.
5:30 a.m.
Oh, shit.
So the sun's just coming up. So the lighting will get a bit better.
Well, happy Thursday.
Thank you.
How's Thursday for you?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for joining me, even though it is at the ass crack of dawn for you, not even prior to that. Have you had any coffee or tea or pick me up yet? Or is this your first thing?
I did swig some iced coffee just quickly. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your sacrifice for this
You're
interview.
welcome.
I'm really excited to chat. How has the rest of your week gone? Pretty good?
Yeah, pretty good. Just working on a new digital product, and just kind of, I don't know, this is kind of getting ready for things to get at that busy time of year with the November, and everything just kind of all of a sudden starts to just, next thing you know, it's Christmas. So just trying to get stuff done.
Yeah, the time that we're recording this, it's about a week out of Halloween for us here. And I was just telling someone this morning how it's like, we have a Halloween costume party this weekend, and then it's trunk or treat for my daughter's school, and then it's Halloween dress up play day at her school, and then it's actual Halloween, and it's just like all of the things. I feel like it's like 3 Halloween parties before actual Halloween. I'm like, can we just do the one?
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. I think it's officially like cooled off weather-wise here. And so I was kind of concerned for a while that it was going to be like 90 degrees at Halloween because that's what it's been. But it's finally like really nice out now and nice and chilly and fall, which feels really great.
Yeah. I can understand that.
Well, I'm excited to chat today and to dive in. I think you and I have a similar background into business and what got us started. And it's always interesting to me to talk to other photographers who aren't doing photography anymore and who have shifted gears and kind of, personally, I believe, taking creative aspects of that craft and just channeling it into another medium. And so I'll be really curious about how that's kind of unfolded for you. But when did you first start in business? How long have you been a business owner?
It was 2017.
Okay.
Yeah. So I started photography then, and kind of was still doing photography, and transitioned into offering digital products as well, like the online stuff as well, about 2020. And kind of petered out the photography about 2023, end of 2023.
Yeah. What was the premise of bringing on digital products to your scope at that time?
A lot of things. The main thing was, I think at the end of 2019, or towards the end of 2019, I realized that because I was amazingly fully booked, and I had been for a few months, and I realized that was, and I only live in a very small country area, and I only had, my husband works away during the week, so I only had weekends to shoot, and I realized that like once I reached that point of being booked, that was it. I couldn't earn any more money because
Mhm.
there's only one of me and it's a one-to-one service. So I thought, yeah, I'll add something extra on to kind of support that revenue that I wanted to bring in, really.
Yeah. Were you off did you create products for a different clientele or for the people who you were already serving? What did that look like?
Yeah, I created products for other photographers for their
Okay.
businesses because ever since I started my own business, I felt like I was a minority here, but I loved the business side of business,
Mhm.
obsessed with it. And, I would just, listen to all the podcasts and do all the learning and buy the courses and learn everything I could. And I just really, really loved it. And yeah, so that was like a no-brainer for me to I could see because it was a few years into my own business. I had everything down like clockwork. Yeah, so it started out with emails for client workflows.
Gotcha. How did that perform? How'd it do?
Yeah, no, it did pretty well. And then I guess, yeah, then I brought in a membership as well, photography business membership eventually, and that was 2021. And yeah, that was going for a few years and really enjoyed it, and just really it was just a space where other people could ask their questions that I had in 2017 and
Mhm.
I had no one to answer them for me. So yeah.
Yeah. Did it feel like 'cause I know oftentimes I talk to service providers who add on digital products and it starts to feel like running two different businesses. It's two different audiences, two different pain points and pricing and objections and all of it. Did it feel like that for you? And if so, how did you navigate that? How did you time manage that?
Yeah, oh, I definitely felt like that. I tried as long as I could to keep it all as one.
Hmm.
But realistically, I was talking to two completely different clients. I was
Yeah.
talking to mums that wanted their photos done with their families, and I was talking to photographers. And so eventually, begrudgingly, but I'm glad I did it, I began a new Instagram account for
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
digital side, kept the photography on its own account because I was essentially like when it was all on one account, I was trying to some of the stuff I would post, whether it be on the feed or stories or whatever, was for one client and the other
Yeah.
stuff was the other. And it was just, yeah. So I started the other account.
Yeah. Do you still have both brands or you shut down photography? So do you not have
I've
that
just
anymore?
shut down photography kind of this year. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you still have the
So
digital assets for photographers, or did you shut that down too?
I do. They've slowly been kind of making their way out of what I offer because now I do copywriting. So
Mhm.
copywriting's pretty much been this year, and photography, yeah, just kind of petered out towards the start of this year. And so the
Yeah.
products, I still offered them for a while because some of them did really well. I had a social media captions product that I did,
Mhm.
which I wrote all the captions, hence now being a copywriter. And it did really, really well, and people really, really loved it. So it was hard to kind of stop promoting things like that did really well. But I
Yeah.
wanted to be a copywriter, not just for photographers, I wanted to help all service providers.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you think back I mean, it's fine if you don't have exact numbers, but like when you think back to running the photography service side and then introducing digital offers, do you have an idea about the kind of revenue pie, so to speak, of what your business started to look like? Was the digital product business competing nicely with services, or was that still the bulk of your revenue?
Uh, Services was still the bulk of my revenue for quite some time, definitely. And I guess part of that being obsessed about the business side of things meant that you tend to follow the experts that are already have these
Mhm.
amazingly huge, successful digital businesses, online businesses. And yeah, I regret some of those purchases, but because the unfortunately the premise is out there that, well, there's no nuance basically. There's no, like, I had a
Right.
small audience,
Right.
and the whole thing was, yeah, anyone can do a digital course and anyone can do a
Mhm.
membership. It's so easy. Yeah, it's, you already have the knowledge, so just share it and you'll be a millionaire. So, um, yeah, but I soon realized that, hey, that kind of the context is needed there. I have a small audience. I had a small email list at the time, and yeah, it sort of wasn't until that really successful social media captions product I was talking about,
Mhm.
that was run on, basically on, mostly on ads, on Facebook ads. I took up with a mentor, who was amazing, and she taught me how to actually take a low cost digital product and get it out there with ads, and that's what brought more people into my audience, and that's what
Yeah.
brought in the bulk of the revenue.
Yeah. Do you enjoy the, I call it the game of marketing, of just like being on top of, okay, is it going to be ads? Is there a lead magnet? How can I promote this? Is that something that you still like doing?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Do you think that that was a big part of you like diving into digital products, or what, I guess what was
Yeah.
the, like sometimes when I think about service providers who are doing a service, and so many people come to me when they're at the point that you were at, where they're like, I want to make more, but I can't work with any more clients.
Mm.
I am a firm believer that the reason why so many of us go toward digital marketing is because it's the loudest, the flashiest, the sexiest thing that's being marketed out there as a viable option. I have my own opinions about that and the predatory marketing, mostly geared toward women owned businesses, that is out there.
Mhm.
Um, that I hate. I fucking hate it. And I think that you're a rarity of someone who enjoys the marketing game. I think there are a lot of service providers who are in the service business because, yes, they have an excellent skill set and they're an expert at what they do, and they don't like the game of marketing. And so I always find it interesting when that lever is pulled. I guess looking back now, is that something you would still do? Would you do that same move again today?
Yeah, absolutely. I would, because like you said, and like I did say, I've always known, or been pretty confident that I am in the minority, that I've always
Mhm.
liked the game of marketing. And I realized pretty early on, especially with the membership, when I had other photographers in there and we were talking together all the time and we'd have calls every month. And so I really got to know them, and I'd been there myself. But I really got to realize that, yeah, they really didn't enjoy it like I did.
Yeah.
And that's why I enjoyed it. I got so much out of it because I was like, because I was, before photography, I was a teacher.
Mhm.
So I was like, here, I will break it down for you. And that worked really well because, yeah, I realized that we're not all obsessed with it.
Yeah.
And a very, from what I've seen, and ever since then, I've seen a majority of artists, creatives, just really, when I remember someone I worked with, her line that she would always say to me, she goes, I just want to take pretty pictures. I just
Mhm.
want to take pretty pictures. I don't want to do
Yep.
all this stuff. And that was pretty much the sentiment of most people that I have worked
Yeah.
with.
I think a lot of service providers feel that way. Like, I just want to write the copy. I just want to design the website. And I know that that's a major conversation I'm going to have with the client when they'll come to a call and they'll say, okay, well, when we get this figured out, the first hire, the first thing I want to outsource is selling. And every single time I hear that from a service provider, I'm like, okay, so you're not in the game of this, which is fine. And I think that there's a lot of self awareness that needs to happen there. But how much of the game do you think that business owners need to either figure out or learn to like if they're going to stay in this industry?
Yeah, very good question. I think when I year like when I was pretty new to it all, the digital side of things and talking to other photographers, I was very, and I still am, like I was, but in a different way. I was very, you don't have to hustle, you don't have to, and there's a lot of that messaging out there now, the cozy entrepreneur and soft marketing and cozy marketing and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, well, yeah, you don't have to, because a lot of the people were also like me, were mums,
Hmm.
mumtographers that started out as parents first and then took up photography. And so that was another thorn in their side, was that I just don't have the time. I'm not only not obsessed with marketing, but I don't have the time. I've got little kids.
Yeah.
Um, so it was like, yeah, okay, well, you don't have to hustle. A lot of the other people out there say you have to hustle, but you don't have to hustle. But my message gradually changed. Well, you actually do have to hustle,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it doesn't need to be like the Gary V kind of hustle. That's what my message intended to be, but I made it a lot clearer. It's like, you do not need to be the Alex Hormozy hustle. You don't have to be the 24/7 hustle, but you do have to kind of accept and be okay with, your business is not going to look like theirs, and it doesn't have to be like, actually. And I got people thinking about, well, what's your version of success? And some of them were like, well, I just want to pay for the our annual holiday. And
Yeah.
it's like, well, that's
That's a
totally
different story
fine.
then. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like, yeah, I was realizing it for myself. They were realizing it. It's like, well, yeah, but also you do need that drive.
Hmm.
I kind of like, I do struggle a bit with it feels like the cozy marketing movement has gone the other extreme end of
Yeah.
the spectrum. And
Yeah.
I do worry that people were like, my misleading, like I was mistakenly saying you don't have to hustle. And I didn't want it to sound like you don't have to hustle at all. Well, you
Right.
do.
I call it intentional hustle.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I absolutely, and just being a business owner in general, no matter what kind of business, you do need a drive
Hmm.
to put yourself out there. But yeah, definitely with a one-to-one service, and you, like the photography, you are the literal person that is providing that service. You just can't hide behind the photos. You just really can't. People, the whole know, like, trust thing. Well, with
Hmm.
photography, especially with a vulnerable sort of medium like that, where you're working with people that don't necessarily want their photo taken, but kind of feel like they do want it, but they don't. And yeah, you kind of, they need to know that they're going to feel comfortable with you. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I think this is, I'm not going to say it's unique to photographers, but I know a lot of photographers who hate the business side of things. And I have seen so many of them who are so talented and so good at what they do and good at relationships, but just not good at the management and follow through of having a client roster and having a system and having even the bare bones of that, or outsourcing it and but intentionally outsourcing it. And there are some even near and dear to me local here that have started and done really well and then just fallen apart, and they've gone and gotten a regular like 9 to 5 job, which again, know thyself. I love that for you if that is the journey that you want to be on. And it also just like, it makes me really sad because I think that there's this level of, being your own boss that they still want. But the management of that, of how to make that happen, you have to put yourself out there. And whenever I talk with people, one of the key kind of red flags for me before I'll take someone on as a client, I'm not someone who is, none of my business has ever been around helping you get leads and market yourself so you get more leads. I'm not in the lead promising game. I think that for service providers, that's such a unique, what is going to be right for you and how you attract leads, that like, yeah, you can, I'll share how I do mine, and if that sounds good for you, then go do it, but like I'm not educating around that. But when I'm talking to someone, in the DMs or through voice memos or whatever, and I ask them, your first couple clients are going to come from people that you know. And they're like, "Oh, I don't know anyone." I'm like, "Oh, we're not going to be a good fit." Because if you can sit here and say you don't know anyone, then you're not thinking at all through the lens as a business owner at all. I don't, you could give me a product right now, a service right now that I've never sold before, that I've never done before, and I could think of people who would buy it. And that is an exercise. I think that there's definitely people who are better at it than others. But if you're going to be in business, selling is a part of that. Building relationships is a part of that. Networking is a part of that, even if it's uncomfy or you don't know how to do it. To me, that's the skill set that you're going to have kind of no matter what.
Absolutely. And a skill set, exactly that. It's a skill that
Hmm.
you have to learn the same as you learn photography or whatever your
Yep.
service is. Yeah,
Yep.
it is a skill. Absolutely.
Well, and I knew, and maybe this was something similar that you thought about, but when I was a photographer, I knew that for me, the game of business and marketing and selling, I liked it so much. I love learning about it so much, talking about it so much that I didn't care. There was a moment where I didn't care about getting better as a photographer because I was so good at business and I loved learning about business. And there came this moment, I feel like every creative service provider goes through this, where you think for a long time that your gateway to get more clients and to make more money is to get better at your craft. And there's certainly a window of that. Like if you're garbage, sure, like go get your
Yes.
reps in, right?
Yep.
But I learned about a year and a half in that I don't need a new fancy lens. I don't need a filter and editing technique. I don't need to learn posing. I already knew enough. And there's no amount of me getting better that's going to make me a better business. Being better at business, it's what's going to make me better at business. Did you
Absolutely.
have that moment for yourself?
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And that is a big part of what I was eventually helping other photographers with,
Yeah.
is that because it was frustrating. I was seeing them buy 3K retreats, and they were already amazing
Yeah.
photographers.
Yep.
And the retreat had, like, I would look at what the retreat included, and it was like the stage shoot kind of thing. And then they all get together and they talk about all the kind of photography side of things. And there would be like one little bit about the business bit, and I was just get so frustrated. It's like, no, you just, yeah, like you said, if your photos need, you need to get the reps in, fine, that's a different story.
Sure.
But pretty much everyone I worked with was not that person.
Yeah.
They were kind of, I don't know, it's part of being sold the shiny stuff of, oh well, there's surely there's more poses that you don't know, or there's more
Mhm.
like prompts, or there's more ways of doing XYZ, and the cameras and the lenses and all that stuff as well. And it's very shiny and sexy as well.
Mhm.
And it's like, well, yeah, there's just, the photos can be, and I find the same thing with copy now as well. It's like the photos can be amazing. Like if you're in
Mhm.
the same room as, or even if someone's scrolling on Instagram, your ideal client scrolling, and they look at yours, beautiful photos. They look at another photographer's, beautiful photos. They look at another photographer's, beautiful photos.
Mhm.
What's to separate you if there's
Exactly.
nothing else? If
Yep.
you're not visible, if there's no words that move them, if there's, you're not there building that trust, sharing your perspective,
Yeah.
all of those
Following
things.
up. Like,
Yeah.
it's as
Yeah.
simple of
Oh
like,
my gosh.
why are
Yeah.
you letting this lead sit in
Yeah.
your box for 2 weeks? Like, what
Yeah.
are we doing?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. On that very first digital product I told you about, the email workflow included follow-up emails, and I had a
Yep.
whole spiel on there as like, 50% of people at least that I follow up with will
Yep.
end up booking.
Yep.
Yeah, so I would, yeah, say, look, you just need to, yeah, you just need that side of it. You, if people are comparing you to everybody else in town and there's nothing else other than your photos, and people don't know, unless they're a photographer, they don't know photos as intimately as what we do,
Exactly.
all those little details that might separate someone from someone else,
Mhm.
then the next thing they'll go to is price.
Yep.
And you don't want
Yep.
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember one of my favorite, most cherished compliments I ever got from a lovely, lovely client back in my photography days is I had this whole like referral system that I would do because I did in-person selling. That's how I, increased my revenue per client. And so my thing at the end where I was delivering products, I would pass out referral cards. And so my client would get, a free session next time she wanted to book because I would always eat the session fee because I made my money on product. And then if she referred me to 5 people, they would get something, 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 right? And so I'd pass out these cards or whatever. And so she goes, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna pass these out." I always tell everyone, like, Emily is not cheap. She's expensive, but she's really good. And I'm like, you know what? You're right.
Yep. Yep.
Because of just the experience of working with me. And I think she said like she's expensive but worth it or something like that. And it's just this there's another layer, photographer or not, there's another layer of service work. I harp on this all the time of like, at the end of the day, we're in the service economy, the service industry. Serve your people, show up. A huge part of that is customer service. What does yours look like? And I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure I could dig through my old blog archives and find this article where I said this back in 2014 or something, where I said, if you the way that you can stand out, especially as a photographer, some sort of in-person service like that of people who do that, if you stand out in your customer service, you will be the best person in your entire town because everyone sucks at that. And so if you can just be good at that,
Yeah.
I promise you, like, my photos weren't that great. Like, I had like a couple poses I loved. I shot lifestyle, so I didn't have to like worry about, formal settings or
Yeah.
anything. It was very just like documentary style because it was easier for me to do. But my experience was what pulled it together.
Yeah. Amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah. And it's such a brilliant example of, in a whole other way, it's so much more than just the photos. And
Yes,
people, yeah, exactly. And so much of it is also from any kind of service, but definitely photography, from my experience, is from referrals. And I used to tell people, the other photographers, like, if you can get to a point where at least 50% of your bookings each year are from referrals
yeah,
or returning clients,
yep,
that's going to take away like a lot of the pressure on your marketing,
yep,
because that is an amazing place to be. If you've got people coming back every year, it really, it means that you're not chasing new people all over the internet all the time.
exactly.
Um, and
You don't
yeah,
have
it
to do
just,
that song and dance and, "Hey, look
yeah,
at me, hire me," when you've built that community, but you have to build that community first.
yes,
And you've gotta put the reps in of getting the people to say yes, but I promise you, those first couple people who could be your cheerleaders forever, you already know them. And maybe the person you know isn't gonna be the person to hire you, but the person you know is gonna refer you to someone who's gonna hire you.
absolutely.
Like I talk about this all the time. I credit the start of both of my solo businesses. So the one back in 2011 that I started, and then when I went back out on my own in 2023, both of those got booked out with ideal clients because of moms. So the first one was my best friend's mom referred me to her friend and she hired me and I changed my complete client experience. I did in-person selling for the first time. I tested everything out on her because I knew her and I could test these things out with her and she would
Yeah,
be much more forgiving if there was, an email didn't send or like, I was nervous or whatever. And I exponentially increased my average client spend in that session. And then flash forward to 2023 when I was going out on my own again, my mom, her boss needed a person in their company, and she recommended me, and I got hired on the spot. And that was my first client when I went back out on my own. And it's just that. It's just that confidence boost from landing one ideal person, from someone who you can like kind of let the anxiety out and be normal with and learn and do your mistakes with, that leads to everything else.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah. Mine was it's like that little spark that starts
Yes.
everything. Mine was I kind of I didn't know what I was doing at the time, but I knew this other local business owner who had a children's wear kind of online shop, and we'd been messaging and things on Instagram, and yeah, so I ended up randomly. She messaged me and said, "Do you want to be?" She goes, "Oh, I've booked someone for my wedding that's like in 2 weeks." And now that I know you, I like love your style, and would you want to be a second shooter? And I said,
Oh my
only if it's
gosh.
okay with your lead
Yeah.
photographer. So we went through all that and it was fine. But I wasn't a second shooter as such. I just wanted to go and practice. And I've never photographed a wedding before. I was really super new, and I was just kind of, and I said, like, I'm not going to get in her way at all. And I didn't. I just kind of took a very documentary approach. So wherever she wasn't, I was, and I was just practicing. And yeah, and then that well, not a client, like I did that completely for free, but she had kids and she had a whole big group of friends that were exactly as amazing as she was as an ideal
Yep.
client. And
Yep.
I'm not even exaggerating, for years people
Yes.
would say, I know Eleanor, and I booked
Yes.
in because she said to book in with
I
you.
love that.
Yeah.
I tell you guys all the time, like-minded people hang out with each other.
Oh
And
yeah.
so like you land one dreamy client, I call them level 10 clients. They know more level 10
Oh
clients.
yeah.
And they want to, if they had a good experience, they want their friends to have that good experience.
Yeah.
And they feel like it's this weird psychological thing of everyone wants to be the reason for someone else's happiness, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, I had this
Yes.
amazing experience. It made me feel really good. I want you to get to experience that. I'm going to connect you. And it's just such a human desire for us, and dopamine hit for us to get to make other people happy. And I promise you, like, go out of your comfort zone and get that first client, go after that person. Because when you do it, it truly changes everything.
Oh, absolutely. I realized that the flow and effect, like you said about that confidence that came from that, I was like,
Yes.
oh, okay, now things are happening.
Yes.
Now people are coming to me, and this is incredible. And then I don't know how much further along it was, but then I kind of realized that that's how that worked. And I took the initiative to contact another local, she was kind of like a micro influencer in the area, and but again, I knew that she had a big group of friends that were just as amazing as her and stylish and amazing, and because I wanted to do in-home shoots, that's right, and it wasn't a thing in my area, and she had a beautiful house, and
Yeah.
I said, yeah, can we kind of do a bit of a model call kind of thing? And yeah, same thing. So yeah, it's so powerful. And yeah, you really just, if you can get out there and just get that
Yep.
first one,
Yep.
it's a ripple effect. Yeah.
Truly, truly. Well, and it's really funny because, like, I mean, I had a thinking back now, there's like repressed memories, I feel like, from back in the day of like, oh yeah, I did do that. Cause I shot a close friend's wedding for very cheap. Like me and like a group of girlfriends of mine who'd known each other for years, we all got married very, very young for some silly reason. We're all still married to the same people. So it was a great choice, but we were very young, which meant we were very, 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 very broke. And as the only photographer in the group, I knew investing in photography was like the best thing you can do at your wedding. So that was our like number one line item where I'm like, non-negotiable. We are investing in this photographer. This is what we're doing. Cause I'm obviously not taking our own photos. But for my friends who maybe didn't have those connections and resources, one of them asked me to shoot her wedding. And I was very nervous, but she was so like, if you get one shot, like I don't care. She's so casual. She was so chill. And I shot that wedding. I learned that I did not want to shoot weddings, that the
Oh
pressure
gosh,
of that
yes.
was immense. My feet were tired. My body was tired. I love weddings. I wanted to just drink and dance. And now I have to work. And I did not like that. But then I was a second shooter for a wedding because I was like, okay, maybe it was because it was my friend and I wanted to like participate. But I did a second shot, and it's just that pressure of like, I took the photos and I was proud of them, but then it was like, what if something happens to this memory card? What if when I put it on my computer, like it blows up and I don't have any of these photos? Like just the pressure of you cannot recreate this moment. A family session, I'll call them back to the park, no problem, no big deal.
Yeah.
Not a wedding.
Nope.
So I was
No
like,
do-over.
I don't think that's for me.
No. I was exactly the same. Exactly the same. I was like, yeah, no, I'm glad I tried it because I'd probably always wonder, but
Yep.
it's not for me.
And then I also did a an at hospital like birthing session
Ah.
and newborn session. I did this whole package where I did their birth announcement, like maternity photos, the hospital session, or like fresh 48 session, and then their 1 year or something. So it was this whole big package. It's a family friend. I loved them. I'm so glad I got to be a part of their kiddos. Like they were twins. But the
Mm.
birth was super traumatic, like very traumatic for everyone involved, not just me. But I was like, people forgot that I was there. So I was just in the room in the corner and like stepping out of the way. And I won't go into all the details because it was very, very traumatic. They're both wonderful kiddos now. They have zero health issues. They're amazing. I love them so much. I cannot believe it. And in that moment, it was terrifying.
Yeah.
And I was like, one of the things I will share, just because it was it's truly crazy thinking about this, but I was, in the room when all of this like emergency stuff is happening, and I'm like kind of push myself into the dark corner to just like ignore me, like I'm not here, but I couldn't leave, like because of just where the doctors and the nurses were. And so I was just like minding my own business, trying to like not process
Mm.
all the things. And then one of the kiddos was having a hard time, so she ended up having to go to NICU, and it was very like, is everything going to be okay? That level of serious. And so I leave the room, leave the hallway. I go to the like waiting room where the family is. But at this point, it had been maybe 30 minutes since all the hoopla happened. And I go into the room, and I'm young. I mean, I'm 25, 24. I don't have a kid. This is the first birth I've ever seen in my life. Like, I'm very new to this whole environment and experience. And I go into the waiting room, and I had just been a part of that. But what I didn't realize is that no one had come and talked to the family yet. And so they're asking me how the babies
Oh,
are, and I'm saying stuff assuming that they know. I was literally the one to tell them that one of the babies was in the NICU and having a hard time.
God.
And so now everyone is crying and like freaking out. And I'm here like,
Um,
I didn't know, like, I. So then I go to this whole like other waiting room and just call my mom and just sobbing because I'm like, I don't know how to process this. I don't know how to handle this. And so the dad, his parents were there. They came and found me in the waiting room and like consoled me because I'm losing it when it's their like literal grandchild who's having these health issues. But it was one of those moments where, and I was there for hours and hours and hours. I went home and I was like, literally never again. That was way too much.
yeah.
But now they're just the sweetest, and I love them so much. And I mean, they were so thankful to have all of that. And like those memories, you can't even like
Yeah.
some of them, she was like, I can't even look at some of those photos because
Oh my
it's just like
gosh.
in that moment. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, you can be a part of like really crazy things, I feel like, as a
Oh.
photographer.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. It's people's sacred space. It really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even if you're a headshot photographer, people are trusting you to, I mean, there's a percentage of us that don't care, like not don't care, but aren't concerned about, they know that things are going to look amazing and they look amazing and they're really confident about it. But most people, it's a very vulnerable space
Absolutely.
to invite someone else into, and
To
especially
document
things
that.
like that. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I feel like that even links to, because I know I felt the pressure of trying other genres, not just to give them a go, but to try and increase the type of sessions I could do to increase my own revenue as well.
Yeah.
And that was a bit
Yeah.
of a pressure. It's like, well, all the wedding photographers seem to be killing it. They're
Right.
making
Right. So let me try that.
thousands.
Mhm.
Yeah, maybe I should do that instead. You kind of grasping at straws at some point, trying to think,
Yeah.
well, how can I kind of do this in a way that is um, kind of best for me and the
Yeah.
business. Like, even I tried newborn photos because I could do them during the week when my kids were at kindy and school and whatnot.
Mhm.
And my husband was away during the week. And I did that for a bit, but I'm not a newborn photo person either. I just really loved the families and all
Mhm.
that, and business branding and things as well. But yeah, that was kind of, it was like, oh well, I don't want to do weddings, I don't want to do newborns. It kind of
Yeah.
limits me a lot.
Well, and what I want you all to hear as you're listening is yes, we're talking about this in the very specific niche lens of photography, but you can apply this to literally any service industry. And
Oh
it's
yeah.
the advice that I give people when they're starting that there is some intentionality about throwing spaghetti at the wall and trying something new within your lane. So, like, what I want you to hear is we both tried weddings as photographers, newborns as photographers, different style of sessions in home, at the park, in a studio as photographers, right? It's the same thing if you were saying, okay, maybe I want to try copywriting in a VIP day format versus copywriting in a 6 month container, or having a copywriting membership, or only doing copy for sales pages or emails. That's the same thing. It's staying in a lane but diversifying like where that lane is headed, and then understanding which one you like and which one you don't like. That is the playground that I want you to experience and experiment in until you have more clarity. That is the playground in which you get your reps in and you understand and you learn and you get better and you know what you don't like and what you do like, and then you can kind of double down on the things that are sticking. And
Yeah.
as you shift industries, like we're going to move into your copywriting experience next, but as you shift industries, because I've done it multiple times, you you get those reps in faster because you have more experience and you understand what you do and you don't like, even if it's in a brand new industry to you, and you can make those decisions and those pivots a lot faster and get to the type of business that you want a lot faster.
Absolutely.
So talk to me about that shift into copywriting. When did this come about and how?
Yeah, so oh gosh, probably end of last year. So with all the helping photographers with their businesses, with their marketing, it started out with their business overall, but then it quickly morphed into marketing because that was my thing. Um, and then I also had other things like I eventually did a group program, which was completely about marketing. And that kind of, I was helping people in the membership and I was helping people in the group program with sales pages and website copy. All that stuff came so just easily to me. I've always been good at writing. Like when I did the captions digital product I was talking about, I actually tried because I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted like 100+ captions because that was going to be a
Mhm.
really good selling point. And I was like,
Yeah.
how am I going to write 100+ captions? This is going to take me 12 months. And then I tried to get ChatGPT to help me,
Mhm.
and that failed.
Mhm.
And then I realized, because this was captions for photographers, and I realized, oh my God, I've literally got years of
Yes.
captions of my
Yes.
own that
Yes.
clients always told me they loved reading. And that worked for me. And I was like, well, I've already got the captions, and I tweaked them for that product. And I think that was why it was so successful. It was not a general captions product that any business could use. It was very specific to photography. Um, I kind of, the writing thing was always there. Yeah, like I said, I was helping others. Like really exponentially improve their website, because again, we're talking about people that aren't interested in it like we are. That's
Right.
just like, just tell me what to do. Just tell me
Yeah.
how to do it and I'll do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
um because yeah, it, not everybody enjoys it. Not everybody's brain works that way. So it was already something I was kind of doing. And then towards the end of last year, I saw an opportunity for a beta program with a copywriter, Marisa from Dirty Copy. Yeah, so she ran this program and I jumped on it and I thought, you know what, let's give it a go, because I knew the photography was winding down, because I kind of felt like it had run its course and I wanted to explore something new. And I'd always loved writing and helping other people improve their marketing. And it felt like a no brainer. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So have you opened up, is marketing just for photographers or for creative people, or what's
Yeah.
the kind of lane?
Yeah, so I started out with doing copy just for photographers, because pretty much my entire audience was already photographers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
That's what I call
and
a like a gentle pivot instead of
yeah,
like a flip your business upside down.
oh yeah, goodness, oh gosh. And then yeah, so it's been a very slow, gentle transition into saying, hey, I still serve photographers. You're a service-based business,
Yep.
but I'm here for service pros. So yeah,
Yeah.
come at
Yeah.
me, all of you.
Yeah. I can write it. Let's go.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
love that. And how did you, when you were kind of making the transition, like I feel like photography is one of those niche, there's a handful of them, wedding planning, event planning, whatever. It's an in-person service. Going from an in-person service to a digital service, an online service, do you feel like there were things that you miss about the photography aspect or lessons that you kind of now apply to this version of business?
Oh, definitely lessons I've applied to it. Yeah, for sure. Like you said, when you do a, a pivot like this, all that stuff that's come from your prior experience is makes the new one very
Yeah,
not seamless, but certainly a lot easier, and you're lot
for
more
sure.
confident, for sure. You're not starting from scratch, that's for sure.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Even if it feels like it, you're not.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and so the big selling point for me was, and again, I think I'm the minority here, possibly, was that it was online and not in person, because I have anxiety stuff,
Mhm.
and in person was difficult for me. It just got increasingly more and more difficult,
Yeah.
and the online was much more comfortable, and a lot more flexible too. Like I
Mhm.
was able to, like I said, my husband works away. Like shooting was difficult, a lot more difficult for a one-on-one thing to fit in to my life, and I still wanted to have a business, um, and still wanted it to be creative and all those things. So yeah, it made
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I definitely got really comfortable with like hermit life after being a photographer for so long and not realizing, because I was still really young when I quit photography. I retired from photography. Um, and it was truly a visceral moment for me where it was like, if I have to pick up this heavy ass camera one more time, I'm going to throw it across the room. And so I had to just like end it because I was over it. But I was doing a lot of styled product shoots for like food-based businesses here in Kansas City. And so, oh, my cat wants to say hi.
Just
um and so I was shooting, jars of salsa, jars of pickles, containers of truffles, and like just the most random things. I got so much free food. It was phenomenal. But man, shooting glass jars and editing glass jars is a whole skill set I never thought I would need to learn. And I don't care to ever have to do that again.
yeah,
But I was doing styled shoots. And so we would do the brand photos for the product, but also for their website. And so we would get models, we would get props, we would get local businesses to like donate props so we could use them in our sessions and then return them because so we didn't have to buy all this stuff. And we would like rent out this empty warehouse downtown Kansas City and like set up all this stuff. But that meant I'm, you know, climbing on 6 foot ladders to like do overhead shoots and then like squatting down to get like the salsa or the jars or the chips or whatever. And I remember doing that and just coming home and just being like, so physically exhausted.
Mhm.
And I hadn't even turned 35 yet. And I'm just like, there's no way I can keep doing this forever. And so that is something for me that I do not miss. And
Mhm.
lugging around all of the equipment and changing out lenses and the batteries. And like, it's such a physically demanding job. And I don't think enough people realize that when you hire photographers or see them of just, guys, we're tired.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Especially with what well, you're describing. Gosh, I mean, wow, I thought family photography was enough of a runaround. That's yeah.
Yeah, chasing kids around at the park is definitely one version, and then climbing a ladder and the holding fiesta decorations for
Oh,
this
yeah.
party. But they were so beautiful, and I'm pretty sure one of our local brands here, still uses our brand photos, and it just makes me so happy, and so that is one of the things that I kind of miss of, like, seeing your stuff in the wild, and,
Yeah.
like, I had images up at, like, the maternity ward in hospitals, and, like, it's just it's really fun to see that.
It is. It really is. And it feels like you've had this special kind of invitation to
Mhm.
to use your skills in a way that you really cannot, like, if you all you need to do is go on Facebook Marketplace and see the photos that people are taking on there. um, it's a skill. It's a skill. Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
It's like
Well,
straighten it
what's
up,
wha
people.
yeah, truly. Turn on a light, like, what are we
Yeah.
doing? I remember I wrote a blog post, I don't know if you ever used this app, but there was an app that was it was one of my favorite editing apps for a long time. It's called Pick Tap Go, and I'm pretty sure it still exists, but it I started using it in, like, 2014, 2015, and it it was, a phone editing app before Lightroom came around and before Lightroom was on your phone, and Lightroom is so easy to use, but this was, like, pre-Lightroom. It was so good, it was one of my favorites, and I remember I wrote a blog post about how because this was when flat lays were really popular, and I took a bunch of flat lays and, like, made our own backgrounds and, like, had these really cool things. I remember my grandpa, like, I miss him so much. He made this giant table, that I put, like, marble contact or marble laminate over, like, he literally laminated with countertop this
Wow.
marble effect so he could have it as backgrounds, and then he, like, cut down all of these strips of plywood that were, like, you know, Pinterest sized vertical boards that I
Yep.
would lay down and they were painted my brand colors and I would do, you know, a flat lay and then add text to it in post. And it was just this really fun time of getting to like, I think for me, that was my really fun segue of yes, I'm using my photography skills, but for a different brand and my own business in new ways. And
Yeah.
it definitely like, I mean, our brand back then for sure looked not way more polished than it was because it was a polished brand, but it looked like, "Holy shit, like, you've got great branding, great photos," and that legitimacy that comes from that is very valid and very real, and I don't think people give sometimes that enough credit.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, for sure. I think the same realm as like your visual branding elements, like logos and
Yeah.
like website design and yeah, all of those things. Yeah, can in branding photos, of course. It's
Mhm.
yeah, it really, really does. I mean, that's elevate. I hate to use that word, but it
Right.
does. It really does. It really
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
does. Yeah.
Well, as we wrap up, what's coming up in 2026 for you, and what are you excited about implementing in your business in the copywriting space, or trying something new? What's on the horizon?
Yeah, so excited about continuing with the website copy. I'm continuing with I at the moment I'm very into doing the website copy, sales pages, things I know like the back of my hand,
Mhm.
and copy audits as well. But next year, and that's what I'm working on at the moment, I'm bringing in like an email marketing side of things.
Nice.
So working on a product, to another low cost digital product, to because that's another thing I'm seeing a lot of people, for a long time, seeing a lot of people getting really frustrated with social media. Um, and I know that I've always enjoyed writing emails. It's something that comes naturally to me, and it's one of those things that doesn't come naturally to a lot of people. So, and I feel like people are looking for, like, that's something I'm always really happy I did early on, was an email list. Um,
Mhm.
and I feel like that was one of my really, really good decisions. So, yeah, helping people feel like social media doesn't have to be their be all and end all, because it just seems to be getting more and more difficult, to kind of get that reach and everything. So, yeah, helping people see, like, I know it's not as sexy as social, but please, it can
Mhm.
be really, really cool. So, yeah.
Yep, and you own it, and you can control it a lot more and
Yeah.
all of those things. Yes, for
Yeah.
sure. Well, I love that. Well, Tanya, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's so great to hear about your journey and your background. And I love nerding out with other photographers and
Yeah.
reminiscing on those old days. So thank you so much for coming on. If you want to let people know who are listening where they can hang out with you online, get to know more about what you've are offering and got going on this year and next.
Yeah, so my website is where everything is, soulfulstoryco.com. And I mostly hang out in IG stories and threads, and which is where I found you.
Yes.
And yeah, so that's pretty much the main places you can find me that I like to actually be.
Nice, nice. Well, we'll have all of that linked up in the show notes for you all as well. So you can head over there, souldoutservices.com/podcast, and check out the show notes for this episode to get all those direct links. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I hope you have a great rest of your day now that the sun
Yeah.
is shining and
Yeah.
you can officially start your day or go back to
Yeah.
bed.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'll help the kids get off to school now. But thank you so much, Emily, for the invite. It's been a lot of fun talking to you.
Hey, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Sell the Damn Service. I'm really honored that you spent however many minutes you just did with me. Now, if you could go do me a very quick favor and be sure to like, subscribe, leave a rating and a review for this podcast over on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, or, pick your favorite platform. I'm not going to be that choosy. It truly means the world to me. It's how little tiny shows that are like mine, that are self-funded and, being edited in between dinner time and school pickup, it helps us get seen. It's free for you to do and takes just a couple of minutes. And I would love you forever if I could send you an edible arrangement as a big thank you. I would. So instead, consider this giant thank you directed just at you for going to do that. And share this episode or this podcast with a friend who needs to hear it. I love ranting and raving about service-based business strategies. And, I think more people should listen to this show, honestly. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I really, really, really am grateful that you're here, and we will chat very soon.